So Yiheng's just back at it again with another 409 world record average. This ties his previous world record. Crazy because this actually happened at the Asian Championships this year over in Malaysia. He basically just got a 409 world record in a major championship. This is pretty absurd because Yiheng is known for not really being able to handle pressure that well. We saw that at the 2023 World Championships, and this is probably his first major championship going against, some of the top solvers in the world since that major championship finals of 2023. So it's gonna be super interesting to see how he performs, especially in the finals. It's one thing to do all this stuff in the earlier rounds, but in the later rounds, it's gonna be interesting to see if he can pull it off. This should certainly be scary for people like Timon and other top solvers at the Asian Championships. This is also coming off the announcement that he's now signed by the Cubicle, and instead of being a GAN sponsoree like he's had been for the past 4 years, he's now joined Team Cubicle and is representing them. So literally like day one of representing them, he just gets a world record. So crazy return on investment for them, to be honest. I think the funniest part about this average was solve 4. Like, what even is this? He basically gets a PLL skip on a really pausey solve where he has a great hesitation and it's still like a 3, which just goes to show that like if he just has really fluid F12 and just gets like a PLL skip, that basically he'll just end up getting like an absurd world record and probably sub 3. I think the main things to look out for is later in this Asian Championships, just being able to see if Yiheng can maintain this level of performance through finals, and if he's able to handle his nerves when it comes to head-to-head finals with all the pressure and everything. Another part about this average that's kind of crazy is the fact that his slowest time was just like a mid-4. We're getting to the point where people aren't even clapping for 4s anymore, which is just straight up ridiculous. I remember there was a time back when Timon was getting 5s and people just stopped clapping for 5s. I'm like, dude, cubing has entered a new era, and it's almost happening, I think, again now, where people are just expecting faster and faster times, which is just crazy to think about. When you think back to what the human limit, what people originally thought it was like 13 seconds, we've just come such a long way from those times. So it's gonna be crazy to see if this average can get down to, the mid 3s and even maybe like sub 3 one day. And I know that's really crazy to think about now, but it's actually not that far-fetched into the future. I remember when the 347 was crazy. This idea of a sub 4 single was absurd to people. And now we're just kind of expecting a sub 4 average to happen within probably the next year. Inevitably, world records just fall and they just sink to the ground. But one day, it'll end up getting to a point where the only thing that really matters is going to be major championships, because the world record will get so fast where it's just going to come down to maybe luck of the scramble. And, it's going to be super rare to get good scrambles at an average. And, world record average is probably going to be like low 2s or something like that. And it's just going to come down to who can execute the same 5 solves against their opponent really fast. There's a lot of big things happening in cubing right now. And I think Yiheng just bringing the world record down is one of the coolest parts about it. See you guys on the other side.